Hello everyone and welcome back to another Marvel Champions video. Today I received the new War Machine Hero Pack. So there were some shipping delays. Looks like Fantasy Flight is kind of catching up. Mad Titan Shadow came out not too long ago. We've got War Machine now, and I think the hood is on the way, coming somewhat soon I think. But we're going to go ahead and open the War Machine pack. Going to take a look at some of the cards. Then I'm going to turn the camera off, play a sample game, and then I'll let you know what I think of the deck. So I remember when they announced War Machine, he does something with, I think it's like ammo counters or something like that. Don't know if there's any additional rules for him. So there's our card there, War Machine. Let's see what we got here. Poster. So War Machine poster, and let's see here. War Machine, he has Alliance, is now a new keyword that on some cards in this pack. When a player declares their intention to play an Alliance card, any player may help pay the costs for that card. So I think I think Alliance cards are probably not going to be great in single player because it looks like it's a new keyword that appears on some player cards in this pack. When a player declares their intention to play an Alliance card, any player may help pay the costs for that card. So it's like I can play the card, and then somebody can, if it's 4 resources, I can throw in 2, and they can throw in 2. That's what it sounds like. Hinder's been a thing before. Piercing, ranged, and team up. So those are all returning mechanics. So range ignores retaliate. Piercing gets rid of tough status cards and then does damage. Hinder brings in X amount of threat. So it looks like Alliance is the only thing that's new as far as I know. Or I don't know if any of the stuff in Mad Titan Shadow has Alliance. I haven't played that far into it yet. But we have War Machine here. So his hand size is 5 with 10 hit points. Locked and loaded. After he changes his form, plays 5 ammo counters on War Machine. He's got 1 thwart, 2 attack, 2 defense. Let's go ahead and get this open. So here is also James Rhodes, 10 health, 6 hand size, 3 recovery. He's shield and a soldier. What do we have here? So action, choose a War Machine card in your discard pile and shuffle into your deck. And then force response, after you change his form, discard each ammo counter from your identity. So James Rhodes flips over the War Machine. He gets the ammo counters. When you flip back to James Rhodes, you lose the ammo counters. So again, there is War Machine. I don't know if that's actually going to focus or not. There we go. So there's War Machine. War Machine side, hero side, and then the alter ego side of James Rhodes right there. See if there we go. So shield, soldier, and then has a force response there with the 3 recovery. So that's War Machine. We have the a new Iron Man ally card there. So that's probably where the team up comes from. And there's also the gray War Machine. I think it's been in a couple different decks. So it looks like, what kind of deck is War Machine? Looks like it's leadership. So we have Black Panther in here, an ally of Black Panther. We have a new Captain Marvel there. There's Falcon. I don't think that's new. I think that's the same Falcon. I think it's in the Captain America deck. There's Goliath. I know he's been in before. Command Team. So yeah, it looks like a leadership Iron Man deck. And then you have versus obligation is equipment malfunction. So exhaust James, remove equipment malfunction from the game, or remove all ammo counters from your identity. If 2 or fewer counters are removed this way, the card gains surge, and then that's what discards it. But usually when you basically exhaust your card, you get rid of the obligation. And then Living Laser is the Nemesis set for War Machine. I'm not familiar with Living Laser, so I'm not really familiar with that character at all. So let's see if it wants to focus on there. Anyway, Living Laser, 1 scheme, 2 attack with an asterisk, 4 health, has quick strike, so I think it activates right away. And Living Laser's attacks gain piercing, So basically, they remove toughness status cards off of characters. So there's Living Laser with the, what do we have here? The Deadly Light Show Obligation, which has a crisis icon on it. Can't really see it. But yeah, right there. Meaning generally crisis has to be dealt with before other schemes get dealt with. So there's that. 3 boost icons on it. Hinders 1, so it basically puts a point on the main scheme. And when defeated, deal 1 damage to each identity. So basically every character gets damaged once it's defeated. So that is the Deadly Light Show. And then there's a few other, treachery cards here. And then we have cards for other aspect cards for aggression. What's this? Leadership, aggression, justice, protection, and then gray. And what's this? 2 Against the World. I don't think that's a basic team up. Oh, that's a team up card. So Iron Man and War Machine. Search your deck for a tech upgrade, put it into play, shuffle your deck, ready Iron Man and War Machine. That's pretty good if you're playing against a team of both Iron Man and War Machine. Or if you're doing like one player is playing as War Machine, one player is playing as Iron Man, or if you're using either of those characters with their ally cards. Pretty good as well. So I think that card, I imagine, is included. It should be in the deck, right? Okay, so there's already 1 copy in the main deck, and that's like an extra copy. So if you want to use that in another deck, you can. Obligation is there. We'll do that. And then again, one more quick look at James Rhodes there, and then hero side of War Machine. Really looking forward to this. I think it's going to be. Don't know how it's going to play leadership wise, but I think an aggression War Machine deck could be a lot of fun. But what we're going to do is we're going to turn the camera off. I'm going to play the pre-made leadership deck, and then I'm going to come back, let you know what I thought of it. We're probably going to test against Rhino, something basic. But I'm going to test that War Machine, and we'll be right back with what I thought, and we're going to kind of describe how my game went. And we'll be right back with that. Thanks. All right, and we are back after testing out War Machine for the first time. I ended up losing the game, but I only lost by, got Rhino down to 1 health, and wasn't able to get that 1 health off because he ended up getting the armored suit, which basically absorbs 5 damage, and then also Sandman came out as well, and Sandman, I had to flip back into James Rhodes form, into Alter Ego, and then both Rhino and Sandman were able to scheme. So I think they schemed for a total of like 4 threat. I think like Rhino schemed for like 1, and then boosted for 1, and then Sandman schemes for 2. But the deck itself is fairly cool. I probably want to take this deck and make an aggression deck out of it. I think that will probably be a little bit better than leadership. But there are some very cool leadership cards in this deck. I got out, with Sneak Attack, I got out Captain Marvel, who costs 5 resources. Her ability, though, actually completely didn't hit anything, because when you play her, you discard a certain number of cards from the top of your deck, and it's very similar to one of her attacks from her own hero deck, where you discard cards, and each energy resource you discard does extra damage. You discard cards of her, and if any of them have that energy type, or that resource type energy, she does damage to stuff. So that ability didn't go off, but getting her out for 1 resource is pretty cool. Sneak Attack basically is like they come in, they attack, and then if they're still around at the end of the phase, they get discarded. But it being a leadership deck, you have access to stuff like Make the Call, where you can play them again out of your discard pile, which is pretty good. I was able to get out Iron Man with Sneak Attack as well, and Iron Man the ally Iron Man has an interesting ability of basically grabbing a tech upgrade from your discard pile or your hand, and you can, or discard pile or your deck, and you get it put into your hand. So I was able to get Iron Man out a couple times. I got Captain Marvel out. I got Black Panther out once as well with that. And Black Panther has an interesting ability where you can attach an event from, I think it's your discard pile, to him, and then you can play that event as if it was in your hand. So I think the one I had was actually Go Out Swinging, which was basically you discard them and then they do damage equal to their cost to something. So I got very close to winning, but ended up getting, like I said, got Rhino down to 1 health, and then he got the additional 5 damage absorption basic thing. I was actually out of ammo counters at one point, and then Salmon was there as well. So I got Goliath out, and Goliath has his attack gets pumped, but then he gets discarded. So I was able to get the what was it? Get the armor thing off of Rhino that way, but I wasn't able to attack with War Machine because I had defended or was somehow exhausted from the previous round. I was exhausted from defending against an attack, and then I spent a bunch of ammo counters on his machine gun, which is pretty cool because basically it's like you exhaust it to deal 1 damage, you remove an ammo counter to ready it, so you can ping a few things off. So I was able to get rid of a couple minions with that, some of the lower end kind of Hydra minions, like the Hydra Bomber and I think the Hydra Guard, which I had 1 damage on it already, and I was able to exhaust twice, remove 2 ammo counters, basically exhaust it, do a damage, remove an ammo counter, ready it, and do it again. So War Machine does have a very cool set of like hero cards. Like his upgrades are pretty cool. His weapons, the Iron Man ally is good because you can get a tech upgrade with that. But I might try it again with aggression. I think aggression would just be a little bit stronger. There were turns where I wasn't able to do a whole lot because I was like either out of ammo counters or I was exhausted. And the allies in this deck are fairly expensive. So like Black Panther costs 4, Iron Man costs 3. Again, you do have sneak attack to get them out for less, but I think it might be easier with an aggression deck. Maybe some of the lower costed allies would be able to come in, take some damage, do a little bit of damage as well, and I wouldn't be spending so many cards trying to get out allies or cards that basically like get my allies back. So again, aggression might be a better fit for War Machine. I just think it's probably more thematic anyway. But his weapons are cool. His allies are pretty interesting. And the ammo counters are fun because you can do a lot of different stuff with the ammo counters. So there's some where it's like remove an ammo counter to do damage, or remove an ammo counter to ready this weapon, remove an ammo counter to, there's one where it's like remove an ammo counter and then deal damage to each enemy in play, that kind of thing. So some pretty cool upgrades on him. And the ammo counters are interesting. And there are ways to get those ammo counters again. I think there's like one where you generate a resource with it. It's a tech upgrade, generates a resource, and then also adds 1 ammo counter. But like I said, got Rhino down to just 1 health, but the scheme ended up going off. I just played solo, so I'll definitely be trying it again at some point. I think the Hood is the next set coming out. That is a villain scenario. And the interesting thing with the Hood is it uses... You basically take, I think, like 7 set-aside modular sets, and those get added into the Hood's deck as the game progresses. I don't know when that comes out. I think it's supposed to be out fairly soon. And then I know we're getting Valkyrie and Vision. I don't know if those are this year or next year. I think I was reading somewhere that Vision might be January, and maybe we'll get Valkyrie maybe in December. I don't really know. I do know they said Vision maybe January. The Hood should be out soon because I think the Hood was already supposed to come out. Like the Fantasy Flight is basically playing catch up with a lot of the releases. So we got the Mad Titan Shadow, and then War Machine came out pretty much like right after. And the Hood is supposed to be out soon as well. And then they should maybe be back on track or back on schedule at least. The same thing kind of happened last year with Ant-Man and the Wasp. Those got pushed back, and then they eventually kind of like came out together, and then also I think that kind of sped up the release of Scarlet Witch and Quicksilver as well. But we'll just have to wait and see on those. So again, that's my mini review of the War Machine deck. It's an interesting deck. I just don't think Leadership is potentially the best deck for it, at least the best pre-made deck. So I might mess around with building, some other, maybe a different Leadership deck, probably Aggression. But that's going to do it for this video. Remember to like, comment, share, and subscribe. We'll be back again with more Marvel Champions videos in the future. Thanks again for watching, and take care. Have a good one.